Hello, everybody. First Four action has begun, and your Broskis and basketball are here to break down the Wednesday slate so we can get this bread. Recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that Green Screens Media train. This is One and Done, your fast break of college basketball information, and we are powered by the universe's greatest website. That is drroto.com. My name is Jay Heinrich, your humble host, and I happen to be the conductor of the aforementioned Green Screens Media train. Find me on X at Dr. William Cannon. Hit that follow button, and I promise you, I will follow back. Let's get right to the man of the hour, of every day, one of the best minds in college basketball, El Capitan himself, the captain of the Green Screens Media ship. Find that man on X at MC Holland34, the OG, the OGest of the OGs, Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, what it do, my guy?
What it do is right, and what it do to Kansas's hopes and dreams with Kevin McCullough getting ruled out. But that is for the Thursday slate. We're here to talk about Wednesday slate. So the old 3/20/2024 slate that's going to happen. And yeah, man, it's a weird slate. We're going to kind of dive into, man, I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of all over the place with how to play this one. It's not a typical slate. We're either used to not having any value, but a strong mid tier. This one is just kind of all over the place. So we're going to talk through it. A little bit of a different format this time, which will be fun to try. So I hope you guys can buckle up and go on this ride to get this bread.
Absolutely. If you're hanging out with us for the first time, first of all, welcome. Bienvenidos. We appreciate you hanging out with us. You could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you are watching One and Done, and we appreciate you for doing that. If you like what you see, and if you haven't done it already, hit those like and subscribe buttons for us. And it's going to be key that you are subscribed if you want to do the One and Done bracket challenge, because if you win the bracket challenge and you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, you win an autographed Caleb Love jersey. That is correct. I did not misspeak. You do not need to adjust your if you're wearing headphones or your car speakers, the volume. That is a signed Caleb Love jersey. All you got to do is follow that link right there that's in the live chat. Hit that link, fill it out. You will get the email for the bracket challenge. And if you've already signed up prior to now, we've sent those emails out. So if you haven't gotten it, make sure you check your spam there. So be sure to get in there and fill out the bracket with some of the sharpest people in college basketball in terms of fans, all the breadheads, the Green Screens Media universe, a lot of really good college basketball minds that hang out with us on a regular basis and hop in the live chat. We hope you do the same, just like Mama Rocks did. What it do, peeps? What it do, Mama Rocks? Hope you got all the farm work done today so you could enjoy the show here. Maybe you got the arms full of squirrels again, feed them, doing what you got to do. We appreciate you, Mama Rocks. Forklift Jeremy, what's up, Forklift Jeremy? Already dropping the fire emojis in the chat like you know that we like. Somebody's calling their shot, Mike, in the live chat. Gonna win the bracket challenge.
Man,
you know that guy, Mike, don't you?
I know that guy. I think I'm familiar with that guy. I do a lot of gambling with that guy. Well, Elm Tree out there in Big D Town. Appreciate the love and support from the Twitterverse. Absolutely love that, man.
Appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out with us and getting in the live chat. You too should hop in the live chat if you haven't already, even if it's your first time, if it's long time, first time, thanks for the vine, whatever you got to do, hop in the live chat, say what's up. We'd love to hear from you. And hey, like I said, like I tweeted out earlier, One and Done tonight is the show so nice you got to watch it twice, because after Mike and I wrap here for the DFS show for the Wednesday slate, coming back with the bracket show with Mike and our guy Eric the Blue, who just hopped into the comments right there, already dropping the fire emojis. What up, fam? Eric hopping in there. And don't forget about our guy Nape C Hustle at The Real Napier as well. You see him dropping those fire bets on the socials. Make sure you follow us at One and Done CBB on Twitter, X, whatever, Elon's hellhole, whatever you want to call it. At Get Green Screens over there as well. And then at Get Green Screens on TikTok, dropping stuff over there on a regular basis so you can make sure you get all of our content. As Mama Rocks lets us know, they told the squirrels that the squirrels have to wait until after to watch One and Done. We appreciate you, Mama Rocks, for hopping in here with us, making the time for us. We appreciate everybody doing that. Hit those buttons. Let's hop into this slate now, Mike. Not a lot of quality value, really. You were alluding to that in your open. This is not a typical slate like you were saying. So the value that we usually are able to find with ease, it's very rare we can't find any value. But what we do like, the plays in the lower mid tier. You know, we're living in the fives, the low sixes. Like, there's quite a few players that we're going to talk about in these tiers tonight that fit the bill there. So the only issue is even if we like some of these mid-tier players, there's just not a lot of big totals. You have SMU and Indiana State looking at 158 as an implied total according to KenPom, a couple in the high 140s, and then it falls off.
Nice little cliff there.
Yeah, like talking about like just crossing off entire games, like VCU and Villanova, probably even Loyola Chicago and Bradley, right? Like,
yeah,
it's probably we're probably just crossing them off and not even paying attention. The Montana State side does have a low total, but their guys are just too cheap, and we'll talk about some of them later. I think that's the one exception to that rule in terms of crossing off some of these low total games. But what do you think about this slate, Mike? What's your overview?
Man, like today's slate, they're just, I mean, you got the NIT action, right? So we don't have a lot of we have like the secondary stars are on the slate. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. We like that. But it's like, man, you really got to hit the nail on the head with these mid-tier plays, because taking some value shots. I mean, you got SMU on the slate. They play 5,000 guys. You know, like VC Villanova is just disgusting. San Francisco and Cincinnati are a little overpriced for this total for me. Grambling's kind of a mess. Like Seton Hall, like, are they on this revenge tour or what? Because it was funny to watch Providence
they just
today.
Give up.
Providence is down 5. They missed the shot, and there's like 20 seconds on the clock, and Kim English is like, he like starts walking through the line with like 25 seconds to go. He's like, this is it. I mean, he only had 7 guys on scholarship today, so. I don't know. We'll see. I've got a chance at the small big jam tonight, so we'll see. We'll see if Tyler Perry can shoot his way out of 2 from 9 from the field in the first half.
Oh, we got a little sweat.
Yeah, a little sweat action going on right now, so that'll be nice. Of course, my best lineup is in the 200 to first, not the 2,000 to first, but that's how it always works. And then I mean, it's just kind of weird, right? Some of these other games are with the pricing, like to get to their studs, it's kind of annoying. So. I don't know if there's really a lot of games that I'm like, I want to stack and like have run backs or have like 2 2s and even. I
was afraid you were going to say that.
Like,
we're just going to have to pluck.
I mean, there's a few that I might do, but it's just I'm just looking to pluck some guys and trying to get 4.5 to 5x on each one. So man, but I'm excited to dive into this new show that we're going to do. As what do we got jumping in here? We got old Nape C Hustle saying the squirrels can wait.
Yeah,
Jeff jumping in, man. Jeff, thanks for joining us again. Sorry, a little late. Virginia put me in a slumber. Yeah, that's a standalone game. After an awesome first game. I mean, second half was pretty good in that Howard game. So, congratulations to Wagner. Mama Rock saying, hey, y'all, at least my dogs got the dub. They did get the dub. These NIT games, they're not playing any defense, though. So maybe we're burying the lead because there's some high totals that are going on in these games with very little defense, but the teams that are playing tomorrow are
3 minutes.
Some nice stuff.
3 minutes left in the half. Any college basketball team should have more than 14 points. Like, this is not. This is ridiculous. Like For those of you that are putting yourself through the Colorado State Virginia game, bless you. You are a special kind of breed, and that's what we like here on One and Done. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Mike was saying the format of the show tonight is going to be a little bit different. We usually will do a breakdown of a showcase of like 3 or 4 games, and then hit you with some tiered plays for the rest of the games that are on the slate. Tonight, we're just going to hop right into the tiers. We're going to approach this a different way, try to get you guys out of here in like 30 minutes or so. So then we can sign off, get you the Bracketology show coming up later on in the evening. So if you're just here for DFS, we appreciate that anyway. But we're going to try to get you out of here quick tonight. So let's get to these tiers, Mike. Let's start with the high tier. The guys that will be willing to pay up for a little bit on this slate. What are your initial thoughts? And
there's a lot of guys over this, like in this 8K range that I feel okay about, but I'm like, outside of playing a couple of guys in the low 5K, like 100%, which doesn't ever feel good. That's kind of the problem, right? There's not that like 4K or 3.5. Maybe we'll get some news tomorrow. We got the Devin Carter deal. There's no way he was playing tonight. So, we'll dive a little deeper.
It's stacked. Like, is Avila, is he going to be as popular with the upsides that all of these other forwards? Like, this is where we're going to want to pay up. Like Mogbo, Degenhart, Pierce from Princeton, like Keelan Boone for UNLV, 7,800. Pierce is 8K flat. Degenhart 8,200. Mogbo 8,300. All of these players have 40 to 50 fantasy point upside, so we're gonna want to pay up at forward. So, who's somebody that we absolutely have to prioritize in this tier?
So I'd say Caden Pierce, probably the guy you want to prioritize. This game environment is probably the one that I'm really, really looking at. The UNLV Princeton game, 148 point total, only a 4-point spread. We have the SMU Indiana State game, but man, like I've watched a lot of SMU basketball, and those games can be knockdown, drag out fights, and I don't like the 158 there. I think that one goes under. So yeah, I'm looking at Caden Pierce here. All he's done this year has been fantastic. After beating your Arizona Wildcats last year in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Hey, there's a bracket show coming on after this. My guys, a bracket show coming on after this. So had to get my shot in now while I have you. But Pierce is 8K and just putting up 40 spots, right? Like, what are we doing here? 298th in the country and defending the two pointers, like UNLV is. He shoots 61% from two on 227 attempts. He's a big man with a 20% assist rate, second on the team in usage. He's got huge numbers, like absolutely a core type play. I absolutely love Caden Pierce here. But Robbie Avila is our cover boy, right? He's sitting here $100 more. And he hasn't been great recently. And I think a lot of people have been drawn to the hype of everything, the nicknames, all that stuff. I would love to know where the ownership falls on this. The dude's an absolute monster. I already said I'm not in love with this game. I think on the Indiana State side, I only want to play one guy. So I'm surprised to see the KenPom line this size. SMU's top 60 in defensive efficiency. They don't play at a top 100 tempo or anything. So I know that, you love the pace upside for them, but they play 1,000 guys. Maybe because he hasn't been great lately and he's not in the NCAA tournament, like people aren't just want to run and jam him in. But if we figure not everybody in the industry is on him and he's 10%, then I probably want to be double that. But if he's going to be 25, which I don't know that he could be. With all these other guys, you just mentioned Mogbo, Degenhart's an awesome play too. Bigs have been absolutely destroying Colorado this year. He's coming off of 43, a 32, 36, 36, 32. You love the floor there, almost a cash type lock for Degenhart for Boise State. That one is a play-in game. He's going to play 38 to 40 minutes in this one. Yeah. And we've seen massive, massive games against this Colorado. Eddie Lampkin. Nafali Dante just went 25-9 and didn't miss a shot. The big kid from Stanford had a huge game against them. Balo's double-doubled again. So I feel for me, man, Avila's interesting just because of the
You don't think on name recognition alone in this time of the year that the people that are in these tournaments, you don't think that people are going to pull the trigger on him?
Yeah, I guess so. There are a lot of game log watchers too, though. So I don't.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. Like, I hope no one's on Caden Pierce. I don't think that'll be the case, though.
I think
that's a phenomenal spot. The way he's been playing, the price, it all adds up to like what could go wrong. I guess
5x 4 out of the last 5. He's 5x.
Yeah, like what are we doing? He should be 9,200 on this slate,
and we would pay for him there too.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is a smash spot for him. You don't get bigs that dominate, and then the matchup is great, and he has a 20% assist rate. Like it's kind of crazy.
Well, it's a lot of forwards there that we broke down. And I think a lot of those guys are going to be very popular. So we might have to get a little bit different here, to play a contrarian lineup or two if you're getting in there. So let's talk about guards, paying up for some guards. Let's spend a little bit more on guards now. KJ Simpson, I think, is somebody, pardon me.
Oh, look at that price tag, man. 8,800 there. Now you're getting even more expensive with these guards, which is why I think the forwards be more popular, man. Hard to find the money.
He's also shot over 300 2-point attempts. Okay, and Boise State, the defense was good this year, but where they are susceptible is inside. 52% opponent 2-point percentage. So when somebody shoots that many shots against a team that doesn't defend well necessarily in the paint, I'm going to take a long, hard look at KJ Simpson. And not only that, he shoots 45% from deep too. So I think Simpson has to be into consideration. You also have the assist rate is there as well. So I think Simpson's somebody you have to consider. Kadari Richmond is somebody that I never seem to get him right. Like
the ultimate GPP play.
I never, ever seem to get him right. But when you got to pay some spot against St. Joe's here, I think they're going to come out pissed off. I don't think we're going to see a Seton Hall team that's going to just come out and be lackadaisical and just go through the motions. I think they're going to be pissed. I think they're going to play like they.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to come out and smack somebody.
I think Seton Hall is a team that I don't understand why they didn't make the tournament, but
nobody does.
It's
the whole nother show.
Richmond as a player. I love Richmond as a player, and I think he's going to be playing with the chip. This whole team's going to be playing with chips on their shoulders. So crazy rates across the board: 30% usage, 28% shot, 33% assist rate, 3% block rate, and a 4% steal rate. This is why I don't understand how I've never gotten him right. These rates are so good. You just feel like it's every night he's going to do something. And that's why at 8,700, you got to consider. St. Joseph's gives up a ton of everything counting stat-wise. Stocks, assists, like it's a setup for a smash spot for Richmond. Anybody else, Mike, from a guard perspective, like maybe a little bit cheaper?
Yeah, so I think my favorite play, maybe burying the lead here, Robert Ford. The guard from Montana State just absolutely destroyed the Big Sky tournament. 7,600. Got to watch a lot of him as I watched like 5,000 games this past week. I had to go back to work this week. So I feel like an addict. I'm just like scratching.
I need that basketball.
Yeah, exactly. 7,600. Talk about Caden Pierce. He should be 9,200. This guy should be like 8,600, maybe 80, almost 9,000, right? Like, one of the best mid-major guards in the country. I mean, he had 50, 41, and 42 in the Big Sky tournament. He's getting Grambling State. He's eighth in the country in steal rate. He shoots 41% from three, and he has a 27% combined rebounding rate for a guy that's 6 foot tall. So Grambling State's almost 200th in defensive efficiency in the country. Like, I feel like Caden Pierce and Robert Ford, like, I just really want to pay up for these guys. I know that Kadari Richmond, right? I know KJ Simpson. I'm going to play multiple lineups, so I'll get some sprinkles of them. But it's going to be hard to play Pierce, Ford, and then another one of those guys because in our low tier, that's going to be a quick segment, a very, very quick segment. So you can't play them all, man. Like, I want some, and Mike, we haven't gotten to the mid tier right here. Mike's money pick saying if everyone's playing dagging hard as they should be, then Omar Stanley becomes a big leverage play. Yeah, Omar Stanley definitely has had some huge potential in spots this year. At one point, I was like, I have to play him, and I wouldn't. So he's right there at that almost that mid tier spot. I mean, that high tier spot at 7,400. In Colorado, like they just give it up to the bigs too. So like he's more of a 4, a wing. So, I really, everyone's going to love the spot for Degenhardt. Mike, you think the Degenhardt spot people are going to be popular, which is kind of annoying, right? Which I hope so, because then I hope Pierce. No, you can't get both Degenhardt and Pierce.
Yeah, like you're on one or the other probably.
Exactly, which makes me love Pierce even more. And Mike saying that he feels like the NIT games have had more scoring but less predictable. Mama Rock's agreeing on Stanley here. And then also saying you would rather see Seton Hall or St. John's play Colorado State than the Virginia offense. Just wait till Virginia grinds this 1 point win out.
Jeff, I laughed at this. Like, I literally laughed at this. How miserable is a Virginia practice? Like, absolutely. How miserable is a Virginia practice? Man, it's not great, I would imagine. But you know what is great? The mid-tier. And we're going to get to that mid-tier, but make sure if you haven't done it yet, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Get in the bracket challenge to win the autographed Caleb Love jersey. Yes, I said it, and I meant it. Sign Caleb Love jersey to the winner of the bracket challenge. Follow that link right there. It's in the live chat. If you're watching somewhere else, like Elm Tree is over watching on Twitter, make sure you get over to the YouTube channel so you can access this link. It's also pinned to the Twitter page, I believe, at the top of the One and Done CBB Twitter page. So get over there, get to that form, fill it out, and then make sure you subscribe to the channel, and the winner gets that signed Caleb Love jersey. So do all those things. Show us some love. Ryan hopping in there. What's up, man? Good to see you always in the chat. Shouting out Mike there in the chat as well. So let's get to this mid-tier that you were talking about earlier, Mike. We're going to spend a little bit of time here since, like you said, the low tier is basically non-existent. So we're going to spend a little bit of time in the mid-tier. So who are you going to go with first, Mike? A lot of guys in that low 5 to high 6K range that we're going to want to take looks at.
Yeah, and I know our mid-tier is kind of a bigger tier, right? And as we're going to spend a lot of our time, right, we like to kind of counterbalance. We got the, maybe a subset, right? You've got the, 6,600 and 6,500 and up guys up to 7,400 is what we like to say. 7,500, you start to get into that high tier. Really got to spend some coin to get to those guys. And then you kind of get down to this like lower range where we've kind of been living at the end of conference play. Like it was like you couldn't find anybody under 5K unless like a last minute injury, and we were just living in that like 5 to 5,500 range. Well, there's a misprice on DKJ, as I'm sure you're well aware of. And I mean, thank you, right? Like it's a free square. I mean, Xavier Lee from Princeton, 5,200. Like go ahead and mark all your lineups. Go ahead and just start with him.
Open app.
Open app. Click name. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the dude just has massive rates. Like, I don't know if the algorithm just looked at his last game and decided to just price him at 5,200 instead of taking into account, like, one, that he leads the team in usage rate, shot rate, 23% combined rebounding rate, 24% assist rate, 2% steal rate, 35% from three on 214 attempts. They don't play that many games. So for him to shoot that many attempts, he's averaging 17, 6, and 4, and he's 5,200. Like, this is a good game environment. I'm loving the Pierce Lee stack for sure. So I know he hasn't taken as many shots in the last few games, but normally a guy that takes double-digit shots. I mean, he's on the floor. Last couple of games we had the Penn blowout. And then the last game there, he only played 29 minutes. But you expect to see him on the floor for 32 to 35 minutes and just absolutely racking up the stats. So a guy that you just basically go in and plug in and play. You just move on. Now, there's another guy on Princeton, and it feels like Princeton's kind of the theme of the show tonight.
Yeah.
Mataloko. Like he's $1,500 more. He's flashed 30-plus upside. Now, what gets me, right, is I want to get to Pierce. I want to get to Lee. I don't know that I could get to a Loco with them. And I don't know that I want to get too cute. 18% usage and 18% shot rate, a 19% assist rate, but he does shoot 44% from three. Man, Jay, I was hoping we would get him at like 6,000, 6,200. Like, he's not quite the shot dependent guy. Like he'll get some assists. He'll rack up a couple of steals. So you like that. He's not completely shot dependent at this price point, but man, it just seems like the upside at 6,500 is a little taken out, even though you know he can reach back and give you 30 to 35 in this spot. I just have a hard time. I don't know that all three will get there, and I have a hard time not playing Lee on
Yeah, if you get
basically
Lee
every
sitting
lineup.
right there, I mean, are you stacking Princeton? I don't know. Like, I think you just go Lee and then you move on. You had a Princeton theme to a couple of guys here in this. I'm gonna take the Indiana State. I'm gonna go the Indiana State.
Oh, you like that
theme
total, huh?
here? Yeah, a little bit. So Isaiah Swope, 6,800. Mike, you mentioned Avila, obviously, but there's guys on this team that just play so many minutes. You just
Is
know
it narrative street for you too? Are they pissed off too? Like Seton Hall? You think they're going to keep 35 plus minutes on these guys and try to win this thing?
Yes, I do. I think that they are. I think they're gonna run their best guys out there, and barring any foul trouble, Swope's one of those guys, and he leads the team in usage. Avila gets all the attention, as he should, but in terms of usage rate, Swope is the guy that leads the team. Highest implied total on the slate, Mike. You were hinting at that earlier. 83 points for this team implied here. Of course, these are all KenPom metrics that we're using in KenPom lines here. Totals 83 points implied, the highest on the slate. And these Indiana State guards just feel like good tournament options. Julian Larry's another one, 6,300. So $500 haircut from Swope there. The cheapest of all five of the starters, and the shot rate isn't great, but he plays every minute. All cardio, baby. All cardio. Go Sycamore, said Snake's Eyes in the chat. Yeah, Larry is out there every minute. He's flashed 30-plus upside, fantasy point upside, I should say, 6 times in the last 11. So 50% of the time, over 50% of the time, he's getting you just about 5x. It's even if he's not scoring the basketball, the 22% assist rate is sort of gets him there. 2% steal rate as well, so he chips and dips, like our guy Eric the Blue likes to say. Yeah, I wanted to see Indiana State in the tournament as well.
Everybody did, man.
Yeah, that was
when we saw Drake at that 10 line. It was a chance, but like we said on the show the other day, like there just weren't enough seats to like.
No,
it shows you how much they thought about the MVC, but also shows you how many bid stealers ruined this. I don't say ruined; it's not ruined at all. It's gonna be a great tournament, but still.
No, it is. But 5 teams that you really expected to not be there making runs. A guy agrees to mutually separate from his university, and then they win 5 games and win the damn tournament, the conference tournament. Like, those aren't things that you expect to happen. And that's how an Indiana State gets left out. But yeah, Larry and Swope there for me. Who else, Mike, in this tier for you?
Oh man, yeah. You look through this tier. I mean, Dean Thomas on the other side of the Princeton game. I think if I'm looking at Lee, I'm looking at Pierce, Thomas, nice run back option. You had mentioned 7,800. Getting to one of the Boone kids, but 7,000. Like Thomas has been awesome this year. Love to see a little more ceiling. Some of that ceiling's kind of taken away by these forwards, but you love the usage, you love the assist rate. I love him for tournaments. I can't get to him in cash, man. He's got too many games where it's just kind of like just not enough stocks to like get him there. But if he happens to rack up a couple more stocks, and he has a really good shooting game, and that can happen from time to time, then he's going to pop off for a huge game. Obviously carried on that 38 by an overtime, which helped. But usually a guy living in the mid 20s. So I don't think anyone's going to really go to him, especially since you have Boone, that people can try to get to, and he's just kind of in that weird price tag, right, at $7K. So I think he's interesting. I'm more of a secondary tournament type option for me. The Appalachian State guys, like this is one of our only times we're getting to play these guys out of the Sun Belt. Man, like their main study, 7,700 Spiller. I don't want to pay that much for him mainly because we talked about all those other guys we want to get to. But I want to talk about Donovan Gregory, right? Like he's sitting here and he's 6,600. He has 30 to 35 fantasy point upside, which you love at this price tag. The usage rate's there, 24%. The shot rate's there. Can rebound a little bit for a guard, has a 20% assist rate, and then a 2% stock rate, 4% combined stock rate. So I actually like Gregory as a run back type option in that mid tier, especially if I'm paying $8K for Pierce. I'm paying, 5,200 to get to Lee. I probably want to play somebody in that mid-tier salary. I don't know that I want to go all the way up to get one of the Boones or even Rodriguez or somebody like that. So maybe an Appalachian State guy that I could run it back with. I don't know, man. Like it's just kind of it's kind of one of those things where pick your poison, I guess. Like because it feels like a one-off shot here for these Appalachian State guys against UNLV. So I'm not going heavy on UNLV, but I do like using maybe a Dean Thomas with the 2 Princeton guys and then a run back from the Appalachian State. So a 1-1 in this spot. Whereas the Princeton game, like I'm kind of looking at, maybe 2 guys from the Princeton side here and, Princeton playing UNLV. So I'm looking at 2 from Princeton, 1 from UNLV is how I would look at it. So I think that Dean Thomas definitely is interesting for Appalachian State because they're at that 148 implied total with Wake Forest. I don't know that I want to play more than one guy against the Wake defense that's been a little bit better. I don't know, man. Like it's kind of tough, right? So I have some interest in 6,600 here for Gregory. For Abson, 6,000. He's okay. Like it just feels ugly. Like Harkin's playing a lot of minutes. He's 5,200. So I think maybe I'd rather take a shot at at the last man in. I have 5,300 left, right? Because that's probably what's going to happen. You're like, who can I play? I mean, Terrence Harkin, if he's going to play close to 30 minutes, like he's somewhat interesting, right? Like we're talking about builds here. There's not a lot of games, man, where you get excited about I get excited about this Princeton game and playing 2 on that side, running it back with 1 on UNLV, and then trying to find pieces in these other games.
I watched the Appalachian State game against Texas State. Gregory and Harkin, they both had great games. Harkin didn't shoot the ball really well, but he still ended up with 13 points. And then Abson didn't. He played 30 minutes, but he only had 4 points, but he had 8 boards.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot the ball. Yeah,
I mean 3 blocks. So it's even in a game where they only scored 56 points as a team, those 3 still had good fantasy nights from that perspective. So Appalachian State, somebody to consider, those guys for sure. In that same game, Kevin Miller on the other side for Wake. We've been saying Wake Forest guys nobody plays them. We've been saying it all season long. Nobody ever plays the Wake guys, and we love those mid-tier starters all season long for the Fighting Tim Duncans. I think for me, it's the upside here when you look at Miller as compared to his price. $6K flat, no need to worry. My accountant handles that. Appalachian State's defense is pretty solid. They did, Wake is implied for 78 points. Okay, like this is why Miller becomes even more attractive. Price adjusted, I would say he's probably the best of the group. Like once we get done the one and done projections that we're trying to run, we're working on that for you guys. Don't know when we're going to be able to start getting that out to everybody, but right now, we're trying to tinker with those one and done projections, and Miller is going to be one of the guys that projection wise is just going to pop off. I feel like for us, 22% usage, 22% assists, 2% steal, 36% from 3, which is just above the Heinrich line there. And he's playing 33 plus minutes, 5 out of his last 7. So Miller's somebody.
But what about Reed, Jay? You have interest because we talk about. Well, I know you like Hildreth too. He's right in that area.
Yeah. Reed the double guy. So he's a guy that I never really messed with, though. Like I was talking about guys not playing weight, or people not playing weight guys, I should say. Nobody really played. It was much cheaper earlier in the year to get Reed on your roster, right? And I think it was a consideration there. And now nobody plays this guy. So, on the Wake side, especially, he's always a double-double threat. I think Reed and Miller, you both have to look at that for Wake Forest. Now, Eddie Turner for Montana State, Ford.
Playing game.
Ford in the high tier, right? You'd love to get Ford.
Absolutely.
But Turner at 5,400 here, playing huge minutes, solid rates, 20% usage, 23% assists, 3% steal, does shoot the 3 at 39% as well. Turner is a tournament play. It's just a good matchup against Grambling for him in Montana State. So, I guess anybody else, Mike, you want to hear?
Man, Mike's money picks, man. He's hitting it, though, because this is what we tried to do all year, right? Like, we've tried to get to a couple – a lot of slates that we've done, we're like, get 2 weight guys because they're 6K. It's like, Hunter Salas then ballooned up to, 7,500. Mike's going to say he likes combining Miller and Reed or Carr or just playing Salas. I don't know if I want to go the just playing Salas route. I can understand it. I just don't. I would rather spend my salary on some other guys up there. Namely, I can't get to Salas if I'm playing guys like Caden Pierce. If I'm playing forward, so like, which makes him probably not owned at all on this slate. But we love always playing like a Hildreth or a Kevin Miller with a Reed or an Efton Reed. That's one of my favorite, the guard forward stack, because they're never more than 6,800, it feels like. So definitely on that. I mean, if you want to mess around in large field tournaments, Contavious Dozier, like for Graham, say it's a play-in, 5,800. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people in this field, so he's in the player pool. I don't think you got to get too crazy. I wish he was $500 cheaper. So probably not going to mess with too much Contavious Dozier. Jeff jumped there saying Miles Rupert. Yeah. The problem with Loyola, play so many guys. Where are the minutes, Jay? Like 23, 50. I need to see.
Well, he put up 26 fantasy points in 15 minutes a couple of games ago. So
he's a fantasy point per minute.
God, yeah, but and a lot of that is blocks, right? So you just look at it, 3 blocks, 6 blocks, 5 and 4 in his last 4 games. So yeah, you like that.
He can't get that big run.
Well, and again, he's got double digit real life points in 3 in a row.
The problem
you could do worse.
You could do worse, right? Like, why not for large field tournaments? I understand that, but there's the Philip Alston factor. There's the Dame Delikins there, like, and then they're 42nd in the country in bench minutes used. So, like,
God, played 26 minutes though, and almost hit 40 fantasy points. Like, it's 3 games ago. Like,
I understand.
Just give me 30 minutes of it, Mike. Just put him on the court.
He wouldn't be 5,300.
Yeah, but just for this game specifically, that's what I'm saying. Just give it to me. That's what I want.
You want him to be 5,300 while he's putting up 30 every night.
Yes.
But no, that's a good call. I think you have to take some chances, right, Jay? Like, Max Rice is a guy that I'll take a few chances on. He's 5,900. Colorado is a pace-up spot for Boise State. 5 to 6x upside. It doesn't happen very often. Very shot dependent. He has a flair for the dramatics, though. Going to play a ton of minutes. The coach's son here, so. But we're talking about the Boise guys, but it doesn't seem like we're getting to a lot of them. Maybe that's wrong. Like, we're talking about Degenhart. I like Pierce, but Degenhart's going to be kind of popular, so I guess that kind of hurts some of these other guys.
Yep, no doubt about it. A crowded mid-tier that we just covered. Make sure you get it to as many of these guys as possible. Mix it in, because there's some guys who want to pay up for that we hit on earlier as we covered our high-tier plays. Lots of mid-tier plays here. And as you hit those like and subscribe buttons, if you haven't already, and you get into the live chat, let us know you're hanging out with us. Drop a fire emoji, whatever you want to do. Not a lot to talk about in the low tier at all. Like, I'm really,
unless you want a YOLO.
I'm searching for, I always do anyway, but I'm searching for some sort of word to describe this low tier. We're a family show. We try to be, it's ugly. A couple of Princeton guys. I think every Princeton starter is probably playable, right? Like,
Zach Martini, you love the name, you love the game somewhat. 4,400. It's okay. You look at the rates though, and you're like, it's not okay. Like, it's not okay. 13% usage on this season.
Gross.
Shoots a lot of threes. Does that count? It counts for 3.5. Close. I guess not close to 1x. I want it to be close to 1x, man. I don't know, dude. Like, you look down here, it's freaking awful. Like, Xavier Bledson from Indiana State is all these SMU guys that are cheap. Like,
okay,
Brighton Smith. I don't know, dude.
Let's stay with Princeton though. Blake Peters, I think, is another one of those guys on that he's a starter. He's going to be out there playing 30 minutes. Not excuse me, like, the upside maybe not the best, but every now and then he's going to pop off. He's going to have to make his threes and some things that go his way. But Peters has to be in there. And Jason, Dogwater is, yes, Dogwater would be a good descriptive
Like,
of this
I
low
guess you could
tier.
YOLO with these SMU guys and just hope that in 20 minutes, one of these guys.
Yeah, the low
This low
tier
tier
is
is
the
Virginia
Virginia
offensive.
offensive low tiers. Very nice. Very well done there, Mike's Money Picks. Absolutely. You're going to have to find it somewhere. Yeah, Ryan saying we always talk about not that guy, pal. Not that guy. But the real question is, who is that guy? And then there's low tier. I mean, do we just you got to put the entire?
We might have to spin this wheel, Jay. You may need to get your wheel out. Can you get your wheel out? Because
ready? Let's do it. Let's get it out.
You got to get way up there. You need a good spin if you're gonna hit one of these SMU guys.
It's like when I'm on The Price is Right and I'm driving up all the way on the top of that wheel, and we're just gonna go pull it.
Hey, nice.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, we got it. Spin that wheel and find yourself something. But the Princeton guys are definitely a way to go. Another word that we could maybe use to describe it is just straight cheeks. I think we could call it that. So it's all of it. Every bit
Jeff
about
likes
it.
Cody
Cheeks.
Williams.
It's cheeks.
I don't like Cody Williams only playing 17 minutes.
Yeah.
But if Cody Williams if you knew he was going to play, as
25,
if you had the almanac,
give it to me. Yeah.
Maybe he's fully healthy now. I don't mind the shot on that, Jeff. I don't.
We're gonna have to find ways to in that low 5K.
I'm gonna have so much SMU 20-minute Wright and Ambrose Hilton and Jalen. Oh God, it's just it'd be so dirty.
Well, before you talk yourself into a bad mood, before you have to film another show here in a little bit, why don't you get to the Core Four for us tonight? I can't wait to see what this total is going to look like, what's left behind after this one, but go ahead.
What do you mean, man? I gave 6,200 out to the people yesterday. I'm going to the Purdue Princeton guys, man. If you didn't know already, I mean, Xavier Lee at 5,200. I mean, he's basically a free square. I feel like there's no reason not to play this guy. Caden Pierce, the matchup is just so good. He's been so good. You just pencil in your 35 to 40 with upside. So going to that Princeton side. We'll talk about Kevin Miller, man. It's tough not to play him at 6K. A good game. It's a good game, right? Decent total. One of the higher totals. We say decent at 148, right? That's a high total on this slate. So it sounds weird coming out of the mouth, but it's one of the better totals on the board. And yeah, man, we got to go to Ford, Montana State. The playing game against Grambling, this is just a smash spot here. And it's not bad. As Ryan says, we don't have any Arkansas news on the slate. We don't. They're contacting everyone in the portal already. So we got guys committing a day after they enter the portal. This is.
I'm sure there was no tampering and there were none. I'm sure
not even a visit to the school.
Wink.
Hadn't even been to campus.
Yeah. Who cares? Get that bag though. Got that bag.
I like Shirley Donovan's tweet. It was just because you averaged 18 in a low mid-major doesn't mean you're going to get $200,000.
No, he said just because you averaged 12 at Northeast Kentucky or Oregon State, Western, our sisters of the board, doesn't mean you're going to get $200K in the portal. Yeah, just come on, guys. Xavier Lee, Kevin Miller, Robert Ford, Caden Pierce, and you left more dollars per player than I thought you were going to.
5,800.
5,800 per player, which you can do. That's attainable with this mid-tier. Yep. That's in play. It is very attainable. So make sure you use these as your 4 pillars of your lineup. Use them all, use a couple, but either way, work them into your lineups and build from there. Live chat was on fire tonight. We appreciate everybody. Ryan, Jeff, Jason B, Mama Rocks, Mike's Money Picks, Ryan. Who else is in there? Jeff, Snake's Eyes hopped in tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen Snake Eyes in a minute.
See Eric.
Forklift Jeremy.
The Blue.
Mm-hmm.
There, Forklift, of course, Forklift Jeremy. Jeremy said, what did you say the other day, man, that you were out driving and listening late or something like that? I remember you didn't watch it live, but we appreciated that either way. Eric in there. Elm Tree, of course, was watching us and saying he's going to win that bracket challenge. Well, we'll see about that, good sir. We will see about that. That bracket challenge, of course, is for a signed Caleb Love jersey and bragging rights amongst all of the breadheads of the Green Screens Media universe. So get over to YouTube, in the live chat right now as we finish up the show. Click that link, and we will make sure you are entered into the bracket challenge to win that Caleb Love autographed jersey. Mike, wrap us up for the evening with some captain's closing comments.
I think Ryan hits it on the head here. Building lineups has me in the negatives. Yeah, man, that SMU spin the wheel is going to just open up all these mid-6 guys that I'm going to and just hate myself when they score a 7. Maybe that's good enough. We had the 25K winner just plugged in a 3K, like knew he wasn't going to play, and then took all the expensive guys and went 25. I hate when that. It's like when you play a backup quarterback in Showdown and the starter gets hurt like in the game.
Big,
right?
It's big brain
level. That's next
right
level.
there.
We don't have
that's 4D chess.
That's a whole different. That's a whole different show.
Yeah. Which, you know, the bracket show that you and our guy Eric are going to hop on here in not too long will have some of that big brain knowledge. So make sure you don't go too far from the Green Screens Media YouTube channel, because Mike and Eric will be coming right back at you here shortly. If you're watching live, thank you. If you're watching later on for this Wednesday slate, we appreciate you. Drop us a comment and let us know you were hanging out. Hit those buttons for us, if you please. Like and subscribe. Be subscribed to win that Caleb Love jersey if you win the bracket challenge. Let's go out there. Let's have some fun. More fun than watching a Virginia practice. We appreciate you. Take care of yourself. Tell somebody you love them. Let's get this bread, baby.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.